So as I mentioned, this session is brief. We're experimenting with briefer sessions, even as short as 15 minutes in some of this customized series. Business Source has a lot of features, so it has extended to 30 minutes. But I'd love to know from you what you think is the best amount of training time to meet your needs. So as we finish the session, maybe you can give me some feedback if you would. Thank you. And I wanted to state that the acronym for EBSCO is the Elton B. Stevens Company. This is a 70-year-old plus company, and I'm a training specialist here at EBSCO Information Services. My name's Pamela Erickson, and I've been working with Discus for about 4 years now. We'll be looking at Business Source, and that's Business Source Premier, and the contents of the database. I welcome your questions throughout the session. We do look at our help site, and this is a URL that was updated in, I believe, summer of 2016, so last summer, nearly a year ago. But I keep pointing it out because it does have a new URL. Instead of support.ebsco.com, it's help.ebsco.com. So if you have that in any documentation, you might want to change that. This is a new updated site. And also when you leave the session, a training evaluation pops up. And it's about 5 questions. I sure appreciate your feedback for my continuous improvement. And here are some help sites, helpful websites. I just mentioned our support site. Just to let you know, there are tutorials and marketing tools as well as handouts and FAQs. You can link to these in LibGuides or in newsletters, e-newsletters at your site. There's lots of good content there. I hope you'll check it out. We also, in addition to customized sessions for Discus, we offer lots of content in terms of classes, training.ebsco.com, which is a link from the help site as well. We offer these classes in WebEx, free to anyone who'd like to take them. So if you want to brush up, say, on EBSCO Host, an advanced course, we offer that monthly, along with many others. And then finally, the corporate site, www.ebscohost.com, has information about our databases and interfaces, including flyers and more. So right now we're going to move right over into EBSCO Host with an expanded screen that will kick in just a moment. And this is EBSCO Host in the Discus profile, as you can see. There's a link to our help site right at the bottom. And this is basic with all your search options closed. You may default to this at your site, or depending on your library and your site decision, if you have access to admin, you may be searching with search options open in basic. So your databases are seen here or under Show All, and I've added Regional Business News, which is a complement to Business Source Premier, to search. And also you may be choosing the Advanced Search site for business. And depending on your setup in admin, or if you're using the Discus setup in admin, just so you know, the Advanced Search page has many different limiters that are specific to this database, including the document types. You'll see product name. You'll see the company you can add here, and you can search on industry code, ticker symbol. And under Regional Business News, a slightly different set of document types. So what I wanted to show you here is under Choose Databases, there's a descriptor for Business Source for all your databases, really. And this is full text for over 2,300 journals, a very rich resource used in business schools all over the world. And the database goes far back, with deep back files back to 1886 in some cases. And Regional Business News is 80 full text regional business publications, rural and metropolitan areas within the United States. Now, just as an aside too, we're in EBSCO Host, so I could mix and match this with any other databases. And I can go to the detailed view, and I wanted to do this especially in Business Source because it is one of our crown jewels, if you will, in terms of databases. And not only is a title list available at the detailed view, but also more information. If you'd like me to repeat anything I say, just let me know in chat. And you can see there's a descriptor, a long descriptor here with examples of some of the key titles in Business Source Premier and the back files. Harvard Business Review, back to 1922. California Management Review. So you might want to come back and look at this. We also have, sorry about that. We also have 10,000 of the world's largest companies featured here, and I'll show you how to browse those. And very importantly, if you're a librarian who likes to work with searchable fields, you can click or scroll to find the searchable fields for each database. Now in Business Source Premier, you can use author affiliation at a particular institution, AF, these are always capitalized. So it's described here and then an example is given. And you can apply those right in the searchable field. So just as a review, because I've just given you a lot of information, we are searching Business Source. Now I've just chosen it alone when I click that. I could go to Choose Databases and add additional content like regional business news or other databases. And if I go to Detailed View, I'll have access then to, as I scroll down, more information, and that was the page I was just on. But without further ado, let's go ahead and run a search. We'll start with just basic information, and we're going to work from the general to the specific. So in this one database, I see 126,000 plus results for energy. And just this is in EBSCO host, so you're probably familiar with the features, the functionality here, but if not, I urge you to look into some of our classes or even the links on the Discus training site for EBSCO host. But the main thing is here we want to narrow by specific limiters. And I'm seeing that the dates go back to 1891 here, so as I mentioned, deep back files. We're seeing Associated Press videos over almost 3,000 actually, and I can view all of them here. That will typically fall between result 2 and 3 on the result list. You can see the rich source types available in Business Source Premier. So if I go to Show More, I can choose more than one. Maybe I want to look at trade publications and academic journals, as well as industry. I'll go with Swot Analyses, and that is the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats of companies, facing companies. So I can continue to limit. I am limited to full text, as I mentioned. I'm limited by source types. Now I have specific filters where I can narrow by the thesaurus terms. There's a thesaurus specifically created for this database. So I want to look up renewable energy. And now I'm updating and seeing 4,000 results. Again, I may want to close that up. These toggles open and close. You can choose by languages, by companies. Again, if I want to see more, I have to go to Show More, or if I choose one, I'll go directly to that choice. By publication, another good way to see full text publication titles here, and also by industry codes. Now I'll go to a little more general subjects, United States law, legislation, and just to refresh my memory, I can look at the analysis box I've chosen. I'm looking at just these source types. I'm looking at the subject of renewable energy, United States law, and litigation. So on the right-hand side, I have access to company profiles that I can deep dive into a little more by looking at their Marketline profiles. And they're named here as examples of energy companies worldwide, and they're additional here. And also, Discus is giving you the news wires. Here's the news wire that's only 2 hours old, 1 hour ago. And I can go ahead and hover over and see the source and view the content. All right, with that, I just want to check. I want to welcome some newcomers to the session. My name's Pamela. We're going over business source in EBSCO hosts, and we'll also look at it in the business interface of its own in just a moment. And this session is just a half hour today. So clearing into a new search, remember, part of the power, much of the power of business source is in these authority files as well as your limiters. So I can limit by ticker symbol. I can limit by company, product name, so, or by publication. Here I want to search, I'm going to show you a variety of ways to search a company name. Yum is the company name. These are now articles on Yum, and Yum is it's a large company. You'll see a lot of restaurants and airports under the Yum brands. And I have news wires here. I can move over to company profiles. Now, the company profile link is here on the right. It's also searchable from the upper authority file. So here I can search any company name. This is giving me the result just for Yum brands. I'm going to search that in just a moment. Again, you see the Associated Press videos and so forth. If I want to search by geography, I can do that. And I recommend that because so many companies all over the world are showing in the results. So if you want to limit by a certain region of the world or nation, you can do that with geography. I'm going to clear this search and show you a search on Yum and company profiles. Now I can match any words in, such as athletic, in the title of a company, or search alphabetically if I know the company. This is a series of Marketline reports of companies, and here's a Marketline report that I can view in PDF format for Yum brands. So if I click on that, what you'll see is a company profile, a company overview with a large table of contents, including even revenue analysis. Many of the companies have Swot analysis here, and I can scroll through this. These are updated annually, and I can see what you're seeing on the left-hand side that's searchable. So I want to go to Swot Analysis, show you SWOT stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. You will see these listed as titles in the publication authority file as well, the SWOT analyses. So as you can see, it's a large corporation, and then I can use my tools on the right-hand side. As you're probably familiar with an EBSCO host, but if you're not, let me know. If you have any questions at all, let me know. I can also download this PDF. So that's company profiles in Business Source. If I want to, say, find Lululemon, if I had searched Athletica, I could also find that. If I click on the company name, it gives me more detailed information about the company, detailed in terms of a different set of details that you'll see in the market report. It also has access to that Marketline report and other related information. So if you wanted to see articles in magazines, you can do that here. Going back to the company profile, I look at the Marketline reports. You will see medical Marketline reports in here as well for medical companies. Just thought I'd add that. And again, the top competitors, this is great. I'll recommend this for public and academic libraries, for students who are graduating, interviewing for jobs. It's very important that if they're interviewing for a job, they look at competition as well, their products and services, and maybe even key employees. So there are lots to choose from, over 10,000 company profiles. The thesaurus is accessible for searching here. So let's say I'm searching green technology. I want to find articles on green technology. I want to see if it's in the thesaurus. And then when it is, I have some options. I can choose to search this by adding it. So I'm moving up to add using the Boolean if I had additional choices. And that subject heading is added for me into the find field. But let me show you something else. If I click on the subject of green technology, I have broader terms, related terms, and perhaps here I want to choose green collar workers and renewable energy, as well as green technology. That's where my Boolean operators come in. I can add all of this to my searchable field, and the software does the heavy lifting for me. It will search all of those terms and give me a result list. Questions, comments, any thoughts at all? Okay, well, if you do have questions or comments or want to be unmuted, please let me know in chat. I also wanted to show you one of the powers of EBSCO host with Business Source Premier searched alone. You can find cited references here. And with cited references, you can find a cited author, source, title, year, or citation field. So a cited source, or let's go with author. And perhaps I don't know the author's full name, but I want to search the author Carr. And you can see that if I bring up a particular article and find the citing articles, I see that there are cited references here, so excellent for a literature search, and the number of times cited in the database. With this article, I can still add it to a folder or hover over and get a look at the subjects and abstract in the article. But if I click on cited references in this hyperlink, then I come to the cited references for this article. I might want to choose to look at some more of these rather. And look at the related record or find citing articles. These are the 4 I just chose. So under More, you find your cited references. If I do add, say, regional business news to this search, which will go over to the business searching interface in just a moment, now I'm seeing both Business Source Premier and regional business news. Under More, now I see company profiles and indexes for Business Source Premier. If I want to find cited references, then I do have to search Business Source on its own or use the business searching interface. let's talk about the publications in Business Source. And again, there's a descriptor either from the help here or going into Choose Databases and More Information. But let's go ahead and search within the publication titles of Business Source Premier. And that's where you will see SWOT analyses and company profiles. You'll see trade publication titles, magazines, academic journals, and much more. So I can search alphabetically by subject and description and matching any words. Keep in mind that popular business magazines can also be searched here. And it's showing that, for example, my search on Forbes shows me that Forbes is in the database from full text from 1990 to present in both the PDF format and HTML. Also, Forbes ASAP and Forbes Asia, Forbes and Company Limited Marketline profiles. That's its profile, sorry. Forbes FYI, Forbes Global, Forbes Life, etc. All right, so here, if I want to, maybe I have a reference question that I want to work within this magazine, I can search within the publication, and maybe this reference question has to do with renewable energy, or energy, it could be all types of energy. I can search within the publication for that term. And then I'm searching with the result date newest. If yours is at relevance, you can always change that to look at a historic pattern or the newest articles and so forth. I rarely use the back browser button, but I wanted to do that just to get back to this record for the magazine Forbes. I see publisher information, their website, and we have clicked on search within the publication, but of course, if a patron needs to look at a particular issue, this is great for reference. May 16th, here are 33 articles in the past edition. You also saw in there the 2017 June 13th edition that's already in here. See no questions in chat? I wanted to show you one more feature that I think you'll really like. And when I've clicked on the title and come to this great resource for all issues or the publication information, I also have Share. Share allows me to create an alert on this journal. If I have a folder on the system, I can automatically open it up and create an email alert, or I can grab the RSS feed for this particular journal. Now let me go back to the actual listing because there's a shortcut. Okay, let's go back and say I just searched Forbes, and here, this is how I got to that publisher information. Here's my shortcut to creating a journal alert. And if I do not have a folder to save it in, I can simply create one for the first time. But if you've ever created one in the last 18 months in any EBSCO product, you can sign in with your login credentials that you create at Create a New Account. Your patrons will love this service as well. So I'd search the magazine title, click on Create a Journal Alert, sign in, and choose and sign in using my email and username and password to create email alerts. Let me say that again. I'd sign into my folder to enter my login's username and password, and that would ensure that I'd create a journal alert on Forbes. Otherwise, I can copy and paste an RSS feed into an aggregator. So that's a great way to keep up with your most important magazines. And your patrons can do that too. Just be sure to sign in to a folder. Now, folders are temporary until we sign in. So this is a journal alert, but I have to sign in to hold on to that after this session. All right, I don't see any questions right now, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up the business source interface. Bear with me for a moment while I bring that up. And this is the business searching interface for Business Source. And what I like to show is search options open here. And this is a given of databases including Business Source Complete. And I don't see Regional Business News. It doesn't have the flexibility for naming and searching databases that you have in EBSCO host. But what it does have on the advanced search page, I'm sorry, it didn't, it must have timed out. Let me go back into that. This is a better view anyway. There we go, a little larger. On the basic page, you do have a lot of the limiters that you're familiar with seeing, but on the advanced search page, you're going to see a great number of limiters. So the document types are spelled out here, unlike in EBSCO host where you scroll through. Your publication types show you exactly what your choices are. And then I want to draw your attention to your browse by different authorities, whether it's company information, whether it's industry profiles, market research reports. These are all in EBSCO host, but you can see them all on one page in the business searching interface. So I'm not sure why I'm getting that as my drop down, but let's go ahead and choose renewable energy. And keep in mind that if I want this as an exact phrase, I would be using quotes around the words that are next to one another, adjacent to one another, and I'll have an exact phrase. Otherwise, I'm searching near 5, so within 5 words of one another is the default without creating a phrase by using those quotation marks. And the same manner of searching is right here in terms of your filters, your dates, the ability to narrow by full text, which updates automatically. So the main difference here is that the business searching interface may not be quite as flexible in terms of choosing databases. You have a limited number here, but what we'll do is we'll add regional business news to this. Across the top, just like we saw earlier, you have your business thesaurus, your publications for each database, your access to company information, and what's also accessible here, because you have Business Source Complete, are business videos. You have company profiles. We looked at that, Marketline, both company profiles and MedTrack company profiles. So that's the business searching interface. Same kind of functionality, but I would recommend EBSCO host for agility and flexibility. The main thing here is on the advanced search page, everything is right in front of you with no scrolling except to go down the page. But if I needed an editorial on ethanol or something like that, I can just type what I'm looking for. Okay, I want to contrast that with EBSCO host. So I can go to choose databases and select another service. I'll land on a page that you may not see regularly, but it is very helpful for training purposes and intro classes to show all of your EBSCO resources at one time from Discus or on one page. Really, I call it the main menu of products for Discus, or your library will be branded there. So again, pick and choose from many databases. Maybe you want to combine Business Source with Computer Source. And there we go. Now this is a short session. I would like your feedback on our briefer sessions as you like. I did want to point out our help site, which is right here at the bottom of the screen. And that's a complement to the help site within all of our databases. So you may want to find printable handouts or a tutorial on the EBSCO host databases. You can find those here. Perhaps a handout on guided style. You'll see that in the EBSCO host interface, and print them. What I'm referring to now is we're moving right over to our new help site, help.ebsco.com. This is where you can quickly find access to contact support. Under training, you have all of those classes open to all that I mentioned for North America and English-speaking Europe. The on-demand or recorded sessions, these both complement your customized online sessions like this one for Discus. And these have been recorded and this one will be posted alongside the other recordings in the customized series that we've been running since January, actually. There are tutorials here that you can use directly in newsletters or email blasts. Depending upon your institution, let's choose public libraries. You can get more information about all of this content. I'm going to choose EBSCO host research databases because we were just in the interface EBSCO host. But as you noted, perhaps you can go to all products here. And that's where I'll find the business source database. So here you'll find frequently asked questions for both interfaces and training and promotion. With tutorials, that's the business searching interface, the second one we looked at. Business source, advanced searching, and EBSCO host is where we spent most of this time today. So thank you so much for coming to this session. I'd love your feedback, and I do have a few minutes for questions. If you have any, please let me know if you want to be unmuted as well. Thanks so much for your time, and have a great rest of your day. When you exit, a brief 5-question evaluation will pop up. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks so much. Enjoy searching in Business Source Premier. Bye-bye. By the way, this is Pamela Erickson with EBSCO Information Services. If you have any requests for additional sessions, just let us know. We'll be creating a new custom series soon for Discus. Thank you.